one of the things we were wondering is, how does it do that?
The rings and the amount of information via energy, which is passed into it, and I've got to be very, very careful with this. The position of the rings, their orientation, the energy running through them, position of the barrel, etc. Because you can raise the barrel up on an armature inside the center of it. All come into play as if you have an onion with the various layers of the onion. As you move through the different energy levels, you also move through the different layers, so you get different bits of information. Now imagine an almost infinite number of layers overlain in comparison to the positions of the rings, and an almost infinite amount of energy that you can add or subtract, tuning it up, tuning it down.
Well, it sounds
instead of going up by 1 hertz or by 2 hertz, maybe by 1,000th of a hertz, up and down.
But it sounds like you're working with almost like a kaleidoscope effect. You know, like a kaleidoscope, a real kaleidoscope, the way you would turn and twist and focus, and each time you get a different design, right?
Well, right, except
time the colors are changed.
Yeah, you get a different design and the colors change, but it's like working with multiple kaleidoscopes where when you find 2 different probabilities that you would run into, you have 2 kaleidoscopes. And you make a change on one kaleidoscope that may factor or function to a different angular change on another kaleidoscope. So you get 2 separate pictures that you then have that are flashing back and forth.
Okay.
But yes.
Okay, let me simplify what he's actually describing here. He's saying that what they were seeing wasn't one clear outcome, but multiple possible outcomes appearing at the same time, almost like different versions of the same event overlapping. So instead of guessing which one is real, they tried to separate them visually, frame by frame. They would break the image apart, look at each version individually, and then measure how often each one appeared. The idea was simple. The version that showed up more often was treated as more likely to happen. Then, over time, they would compare what they saw with what actually happened later. And by doing that repeatedly, they believed they could refine the system, not to predict the future perfectly, but to estimate which outcome had a higher chance of becoming real. And this is where another name comes into the conversation.